Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Billy. Today I would like to share with you two dresses with very billowy bishop sleeves. And today's dresses are inspired by my dress, the viscose dress that I talked about in my video number 40. And I was really pleased how that dress turned out, and I had wanted to make more. However, there was one thing that I was not 100% happy about that particular dress, and that was the sleeves. And for that one, I had used a new look pattern for the sleeves. But I found that the sleeves, were just too wide here because I really just want this bishop puff sleeve effect, but I don't really need it to be so wide here. And so for this version, I didn't use that one. And also in the meantime, I had been busy making the Onella pussy bow blouses and also the pussy bow blouse dresses. And because I was so happy with the pussy bow blouse dresses that I made, I decided to just use that sleeve. And the reason it was very easy for me to interchange these things is because this bodice is the same bodice where the pussy bow blouse dresses are based. And so for more information about this basic bodice, and please check out my video number 45 where I showed you many examples of dresses that are based on the same bodice. And also for today's dresses, the skirt is also the same quarter circle skirt that I have been using all this time. It's also a new look pattern. So I'm just really happy with the combination of the bodice and the skirt together. And so the first dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from 1.5 meters or about 1.6-ish yard of about 55-inch viscose rayon that I purchased from Material Girl Lora in the UK. And this fabric is part of my summer purchase last summer when I talked about a fall wrap dress in my video 36. So during that purchase from Material Girl Lora, I purchased 4 pieces of fabric. And so the fall wrap dress was the first piece of fabric, and this is the second. And so I really like this print actually. As you can see, here is as a close-up of the color and also the print. I love the fact that the print is so vibrant and very precise, and to me that that is a sign of quality, I think. So I just really love it. And originally I had hoped to use this fabric for my pussy bow blouses, but there was just not enough fabric. And so I was really happy that I was able to use this fabric for this particular dress. To gauge whether a piece of fabric that I have is sufficient for a particular project in mind, I generally just laid out the fabric on my cutting mat and put the pattern pieces on top, as you can see in this picture here. And here, the fabric had not been pre-treated or pre-washed. And so while gauging the amount of fabric needed, I also bear in mind, because I had not pre-washed the fabric, so it most likely there will be maybe 10% of shrinkage. So I made sure that there will be at least 10% more than what the pattern pieces call for. And so that is sort of what I do. And then once I decided that, okay, this piece of fabric is enough, that's when I actually treat it, either by pre-washing it or by pre-steaming it. And also, this dress, I actually have inseam pockets, but technically there were just really not enough fabric for me to cut out the pocket pieces, but I really wanted to have pockets, and so what I did was I just sewed up some scraps together, and then I iron open the seams, and then that's when I cut out the pattern pieces, as you can see from here. So the first picture is what the bag looks like, so you could see the connecting seams. But once I flip over the pattern pieces, you really cannot see the connecting seams because this pattern print is quite busy, and so I was able to get away with it. And also because this viscose rayon is quite thin, so I'm not so concerned about bulky seams for my pockets. And one of the reasons I really love pockets in my dresses is that I would not, is that I just somehow really enjoy having pockets so I can stick my hand in when I talk. But also there is a more practical reason for that. Not that I will put my cell phone in it because it's just too heavy. But we're not doing that much right now. But generally, when you go to a restaurant, sometimes when you have to check a coat or a bag, for example, you will get a little claim ticket. And I just really loved having a pocket where I can put the claim ticket in, instead of say putting in my purse and I have to try to fish out that little claim ticket when I leave either the restaurant or some sort of a club. And so that was one of the reasons why I just love having pockets in my dresses. I lined this dress with another piece of viscose rayon that I also purchased from Material Girl Lora. So that's fabric number 3. And so here is a view of the interior with the lining of this dress. And the reason for using this piece of fabric for my lining is that even though I quite like the watercolor effect of this print, somehow after so many months I could not seem to find a suitable project for it. And also I am not convinced that this color of this fabric somehow suits my coloring. And so I decided to just use it as a lining for this dress. And even though if you look at the front, technically this dress could have been reversible. But however, if you look at the back, because of the zipper, that would not work. But overall, I am very happy that I was able to put that fabric to good use. I'm just so in love with these billowy puff sleeves. And if you have been watching my channel for a while, I caught this bug sometime over the summer last year, and I do think this will kind of continue for a little bit. The good thing is because my sleeves are not so insanely exaggerated, and so then it still looks relatively classic in the styling, so I'm not too concerned about the style going out of style anytime soon. So here is a video of this red floral viscose dress, and I paired this dress with a pair of 3.5-inch mahogany heels. And overall, I am just really happy about how this dress turned out. It's exactly what I had hoped it would be, and being a very drapey fabric, this viscose I think is a very good choice for this design. The second dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from 1.5 yards of about 62-inch wool crepe that I purchased from a Mood's store in New York City's garment district about 1.5 years ago. That would be the summer of 19. And so here is a close-up of the look and also the texture itself. So even though I only paid 1.5 years of this fabric, but that is the custom in New York City's garment district. Either you buy it at the store or online, that they always give you a little extra at both ends of the piece. And so when I was cutting this out, I measured it. I got about a total of 6 additional inches. And that 6 additional inches allow me to actually cut out this dress. Without those 6 additional inches, this dress would not have been possible using this piece of fabric. So what's kind of nice about the garment district. For example, when I buy fabrics from fabric.com or say from Joann, they cut it exactly, the amount that you ordered. So there was not even 1 inch more. So that was just kind of interesting to share. And the reason I wanted to use this wool crepe dress is number one, I just really like this dress, and so that this fabric, and so that this fabric will work very well in this design. But second also is I figured that this wool crepe has more body, just a little more body than say Viscose Rayon, and so therefore the puff sleeves will become more pronounced. It would the puff would sort of has more body to kind of sustain the shape, and that is indeed the case. So I'm very happy how this turned out. Even though in hindsight, this probably was not the best choice of fabric for this type of sleeve, because I had to stuff, because then I had to gather a lot of fabric and I had to stuff everything inside this little cuff here. So it was, so that was not the easiest thing, but perseverance does, have its virtue, and so I was able to get it done with no issue. And also about the belt, I also made a matching belt. However, I just don't have a buckle that is somewhat close in color to this fabric, and I do not want to use a buckle that just kind of conflicts with this color. So I decided just there's just nothing. I just kind of secured it with 2 snaps. And so it kind of looks like this. And I think overall it looks fine, because I really enjoy having a belt that is made from the same fabric, because that gives the dress a very cohesive look. And I lined this dress with 2.5 yards of about 44-inch 12 mummy weight silk chamois. And so here is a look of the interior of the dress, and overall I really like it, and because it's a silk chamois, it feels incredibly soft, even though I guess I can't really tell that there is a difference whether I use silk chamois or it's China silk, but overall I really do like this silk chamois, and because the price is quite reasonable, so I am gradually shifting to this silk chamois. So here is a video of this pink wool crepe dress, and I paired it with a pair of 3.5-inch heels in mahogany. And because I had limited amount of fabric, there was no pocket for this one, but that's okay. I could live with that. And overall, I'm very happy how this one turned out. And even though it's a little early and this year I would not be doing anything, but I thought that might be perfect as a Valentine's Day dress, because just this pink color. And so I just feel very girly when I wear this dress. To continue the tradition of burning fabrics that I started in my last video, I thought that it would be fun to also burn the fabrics used for today's dresses to see how they behave. And so the first one is the viscose fabrics, both the exterior red floral or the interior sort of watercolor with the white background. And both, I was actually quite surprised, because even though traditionally, rayon is kind of touted as a bit of a silk alternative, but rayon or viscose clearly did not behave like silk at all, and they both burned and just continued burning. And so I counted, even after about a minute, it was still burning and did not burn itself out. And so eventually I just turn on the faucet in my kitchen sink and just turn it off. So it was kind of interesting because unlike soap that kind of burns itself out relatively fast, Viscose Rayon just keeps burning, but it didn't melt. So I still think it's a fairly safe fabric to use. Then I burned the wool crepe for this pink dress, and it behaved very similarly to the Viscose Rayon. It just also continued to burn, even though I think it burned at a slower speed, probably because it's somewhat more densely woven than the viscose fabrics. But wool generally is considered quite safe in terms of a fire because we can simply pat it out. And then I burned the silk chamois that was used as the lining for this pink dress. And the silk chamois first went out relatively fast, and then eventually, I guess the way I positioned it, when one portion was about to burn out, it somehow ignited another portion of the scrap. So it did burn, it kind of burned a bit longer. But of all these, three choices, the silk, the wool, and the viscose rayon, I do think silk has the shortest burn time. And overall, I do think that would be probably the safest choice in terms of garment making, even though I think all three choices are good choices. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. So please do stay safe, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye bye!